important that a Muslim nation, which is very religious, they are people, Far Eastern people are very religious, that they allowed that. And what kind of Hinduism there is? They have the same caste system. There is the high caste, the Brahman and Kshatriya and Vaishya and Shudra. 90% of the Hindus are Shudra. Shudras are the lowest. That is, they are born according to the Hindu belief from the feet of God. They are most of them untouchables. So there are various classes of Shudras also. And when you talk to the person who you are, they will say Hindu, and say what caste, they will say Shudra. And they will say they are the majority. At least they have that much self-respect that they don't want to hide their identity. And many times I would engage them and say that, can you perform the religious? He said, no, no. I said, then who does it? It's a Brahman. I said, why can't you do? He said, no, because this is the way God designed it. So this is an important point, that the Hindus developed this caste system and were able to convince the majority of the people in India, that is, the 90% of the Hindus are not the high caste. Only 13% are the high caste. Convince them that they are created to serve the higher caste, and they are still doing it. Even today, when you see, I was watching a movie few days ago, and they are showing the plight of the low caste. Still, although they are chief ministers and they are ministers and they are very educated, but still the menial job, the cleaning of the roads and the toilets and the gutters is done by those people, although their plight has tremendously improved. So they are the same way, Bali Island, the Hindu, the Brahman, they convince them, and that caste system exists. That's one thing. The other thing is that how they preserve, a challenge for us as Muslims living in America or in India, that how to preserve the identity. That they have preserved their identity in that. And of course the culture allowed that also. Like Islam in India, South Asia allowed Hinduism to exist. Not only that, but that the Muslim king gave them the grants, including Aurangzeb, who is regarded by historians as intolerant, that there are documents now that so many temples that he was giving grants, and all the Nawab of Hyderabad, for example, had chief minister was a Hindu, and then similarly he was giving grants and treating and all the Nawabs. So they did not distinguish. The Mughals were par excellence secular in terms of their outlook and in terms of administration. The same thing is that in this Muslim nation, this Hindu nation within it has internal autonomy, not only and almost independent. Because it's a democratic country, all the elected officials, the governors and the prime minister and the legislature is Hindu. There is a law that for every 1,000 temples there could be only one masjid. And there is a law that they cannot come and preach. The Muslims cannot go and preach them so that their authenticity remains. Culturally, it is more Hindu than India. I spend part of my life, still go there, and I haven't seen that much Hinduism in India as you see in Indonesia. Number one, every family must have a temple of its own. And it is a big temple outside the household, whether it's small or big. Then every neighborhood should have a temple, which is also a social center. Then every city must have a temple. Then the whole Bali Island has 3 major temples. That is, they call national temples, where different kind of services conducted. They have the same pantheon of God, Shiva, Vishnu and Brahma, and there are other gods and goddesses, and same kind of Hindu ideas about the sacred tree, the sacred water, the sacred mountain. And one thing interesting, we discovered a temple that was of the what is it called?
That's
Beds. Temple of beds. क्या कहते हैं? शपरक कहते हैं ना? क्या कहते हैं?
Chimgadar.
Chimgadar. And there were thousands of them in that cave. And that was a temple. And if you are a visitor, then you have to show respect to those goddesses who are flying inside that. Therefore, you have to pay a fee of 6,000 rupees. Number two, you must have a what you call tehban. What is tehban in English?
Lungi.
Huh? Lungi, what they call in English, lungi or tehban, because that is the etiquette. That is the etiquette in the whole East. The formal dress is lungi. That like you have three-piece suit here, or like we may have a soap or something. But there, when you go before the king or in the parliament, you must, even if you have pajama, over it you put on the lungi. So because they are gods, therefore you cannot enter a temple without lungi. So either there are shops of lungis, they sell you, or they rent you, so then you pay the rental for that. So I learned this, so I was carrying my lungi, so I saved that much, some money there. But then they said that you have a band of yellow ribbon around, show extra respect. So I had to put that band on to go. My colleagues from Singapore, they had a great distaste for all the things that I was doing, and they were not prepared to come. So they went to the seaside, and the guide took me there. So then I saw the temple, and you could smell from a very big distance. And you still see daytime flying. At night time, all of them come out. I said, anybody counted? I said, no, there are thousands of them. And you could have that smell, and you see them coming and going. And there's food, and there are different kind of sacrifices done there.
Beds.
The beds. So this beds temple. So those things are also there. And a girl came, and she wanted to sell some jewelry, and we started talking. I said, do you go to the temple? She said, sir, every morning I go, my day starts, I go and pay my homage there, and I take food. Every temple and before every idol, you have the food placed there. So there are tons of food. Each day is given to those gods and goddesses. Even the airport of Bali is a huge temple. And there is no building where at the doors there are not some gods and goddesses. And there are many stones that are sanctified. You'll find that they are associated with Shiva or Vishnu, and you see the food is put there. So I found them that they are very firm in their faith, but they are very sharp in business and very polite in manners. And there are hotels which have the food which is zabiha food.